Hey, it's Mr. Bartolings. I'm here to continue talking about the kettlebell swing. If you have not yet watched the video on the hike, stop this video, go back, look at the video of the hike. Start with that if you're starting to learn the kettlebell swing. Practice that for a little while and then come back to this video. If you did watch the video about the hike, let's move on to actually initiating the swing and controlling the downward portion. So with the hike, just reminding ourselves, we want to make sure that we have that bell at the right distance, making sure that our weight stays in our heels, our hips are back, back is straight, we're breaking the handle, keeping that solid position. From here, we're going to rip it in and back, making sure we don't have any forward lean or that we don't initiate the swing early and stand up before our forearms touch the inside of our thighs. If we've got that down, now we're going to initiate that swing, and we're just going to do singles today. So we're going to lock down that position, back. Now, it might seem simple, right? Just pull the bell up, stand up tall, and that's it, bring it down. But there's a lot more to the swing. I want you to keep in mind, this is different than a deadlift, where the weight stays really close to our body, and we control it up and bring it down. This is an explosive movement. We are literally throwing the bell in front of us. And if you think about throwing a bell upwards of 50, 60, 70, or even 30 pounds throwing weight ahead of us, there's a lot that has to happen to control this position so that we don't get pulled along with it, or that we don't overcompensate to stop ourselves from getting pulled. Okay? So when we go to the upward swing, I'm going to start very simple and then build in kind of the layers of what we're trying to control. But it does start with just trying to stand up tall. So we start that hike. Again, we're going to rip it in until our forearms make contact with the inside of our thighs. And as soon as that happens, we're going to initiate the upward portion of the swing. So from here, I'm going to rip it in. And I just think about standing up tall. I don't think about pushing my hips forward. That's going to happen naturally. I'm just going to think about driving my heels into the ground. And notice, when I think about that, my heels come forward anyway. And let my hips throw my arm and the bell forward. All right? And then I let it come down, take it in, hips back and down. All right? So I like to practice this actually without even using the bell to start. And now I'm using a bit of a heavier bell. You want to use something much lighter. You might be using something like 20 to 40 pounds depending on your level. If you're somebody who's a little bit bigger and stronger, you might get to 50 today, but start even with that 20 to 40 pound bell. Okay? So I'm going to actually start with a naked swing, which just means I'm not going to have a bell in my hands. I'm going to set up the same way as though I have a bell. I'm going to rip it in. The nice thing is I can pause here to remind myself about that nice posture. And then I'm going to drive into the ground and let my hips just throw my arms forward. Here, look. My hips aren't going to throw the bell up here. If my bell is coming much higher than my chest, it's probably that I'm forcing it with my shoulders or I'm arching my back. No shoulders, no back. The upper body is not directly involved in bringing the bell up. Okay? So it needs to be from my hips. Okay? Some are probably between our chest and our belly. Once the bell is up here, we want to make sure that we are in control and not the bell. So that doesn't mean that we're controlling the path of the bell by gripping it hard, but it does mean that we need to control this body, this structure, so that it is sturdy and strong and not going to get moved either way. So we're going to envision the top of the kettlebell and feel the top of the kettlebell like we would feel a plank. So once I've got the bell up here and I'm in this position, it's not passive. Okay? My upper body isn't just passive, just kind of going with the flow. I'm actively engaging. So I want you to think right now as you're standing that you are in a plank. And there's 5 points of tension that we're going to create. Okay, starting from the ground up. We're going to spread our toes and grip the floor. Feel the floor. All the way from big toe to little toe to heel. Next, we're not just going to lock our knees, we're actually going to actively pull our kneecaps up to our hips, imagining that we can do that. But we're going to think about pulling it up with our quads. We're going to squeeze our glutes, like we're holding in the biggest, you know what I'm talking about. Brace our core, tighten our abdominals like we're engaging or trying to brace for impact, a punch. And we're going to lock down our lats. Think about like you're trying to squeeze orange juice out of an orange that's between your armpits. Hold this position, okay? Feet, knees, glutes, abdominals, lats. Do some sharp, short breathing. That is the tight position we want up top. Now to practice that, maybe it's hard for you to connect with that standing. Start with doing it on the ground and do a hard style plank. It's very simple again. Dig your feet into the ground. Pull your kneecaps up, locking your knees, squeeze your glutes, tight midsection. Pull your elbows towards your toes, which will help engage those lats. This will be the toughest plank you've done. Short, sharp breaths. Do that for 5 to 10 breaths. And feel that tension. Remind yourself of that tension. Remember what that feels like because you want to feel it at the top of the swing. So now when I'm going into that swing, I'll do a naked swing again. I'm here. I rip it in, lock it. And I'm going to keep this solid position. I'm going to keep it until my forearms touch the sides of my body. And at this point is where I'll let my hips go back. I'll kind of take in the bell just like you would catch a baseball. You draw it in and then let it pendulum swing back to where it started. That whole time keeping that core tension. Okay? So watch it here with the bell. Alright? If you were to slow-mo that video, now hopefully, maybe slow-mo, you can hold me accountable. I might have let the bell or my hips go back earlier than I like. But after the bell is up, I'm waiting. Not yet, not yet, not yet. As soon as you make contact, you just let your hips go back into that starting position. Keep it tight, let it swing forward. Alright? So, a good way to start this again is with a lighter bell. Practice that hike, maybe 2 or 3 times. And then go into that swing. Alright? Don't practice this to get a sense of how you're doing. Don't practice this by a mirror and watch yourself in the mirror. Okay, what's going to happen is your neck is going to be twisted. You're trying to check yourself out. Things are going to happen here that aren't any good. And you're not really focusing internally what's happening. You're looking on the outside. Practice it and film yourself. So you're going to be watching that your hips don't come up too early. You wait for contact. Drive into the ground. Watching that you're not pulling up the bell. You're nice and tight and you wait. If your hips start going, if you slow down the video and your hips are going down here or going back at this point, it's too early. What's going to happen is that bell's going to want to fall straight to the ground, and then you have to really fight to keep it in and end up straining your back. So wait for it. Wait. Hips back, control back, and down. It takes time. Don't go into multiple swings yet. Single swings, low to moderate weight, and get somebody to watch you. Film it even better so that you can watch yourself, and make sure that at the top of the swing, you're not arching your back, because that means you don't have a plank. At the top of the swing, make sure your hips aren't back, because that means you haven't finished the swing or finished the extension through the hips. And then watch and wait that you've been waiting for that contact to initiate the hips back and then control back to the ground. There's a lot going on there. The swing is very technical. It's an awesome exercise, but you want to give yourself time to learn. If you have questions, feel free to send me a message, but practice this and then check out the next video when it comes out about getting multiple reps. Practice, practice, practice. I'll see you again.